Earthbound by Artemis Greenleaf. Chapter 17. Monsters. I took the map to the barn. Paris had seen me back in Cambridge. He hadn't seen Connie. If I could get her to be seen hiding the treasure map, maybe Aldrich would skip coming to our house to go and try and find the non-existent treasure. He was certainly greedy enough. "Connie, are you there?" I called.
"Skylar, out here."
The voice sounded a little strange, but I supposed it was Bagan. I started to turn around. Another one of those nasty black flies sailed right through me. "Skylar, stop!" Connie screeched at me. "What?" "Don't turn around! Come to me, now!" I was frightened by the urgency of her tone, so I did as she said. I heard a snort and the footfalls of horse hooves on hay as Neem came up beside Connie. She had her ears pinned back and her teeth bared. "Don't look at it! It knows your name! Or at least part of it! If you look in its eyes, it might take you!" "Right, okay. What would it be?" "Non-deads would call it a demon," she said, glaring over my shoulder at the thing behind me. "Demon? Good. Just what we need. Now what?" "We wait. It is stronger than any one of us, but the three of us together, that's a different story." It felt like hours before the demon went away. "It's given up for now, but it won't have gone far," Connie informed me. "Did I put you in danger by calling to you with it standing right behind me?" "No. Connie's my nickname, not my given name. He might have a guess, but he probably won't be bothered. At least, not while he's hunting you." Lovely. "So why is this thing here, and how do we get rid of it?" I turned around and searched the faint shadows of the gloomy afternoon. It was cloudy, but not raining yet. Connie scratched Neem's shoulder. "No one knows why they show up and where they do. Sometimes they're called, usually by people playing with magic. Sometimes they just appear. They do rove about. Sometimes they go away on their own," she shrugged. "As for getting rid of it, it can be banished." "How do we do that?" I asked, hands on my hips. "Una knows a banishing ritual. Perhaps she can do it." "Una? Why would she know that?" "That's what I said." She was sitting down now, on the hand-hewn wooden bench where she set out her ghostly horse grooming supplies. I went and sat next to her, but not too close. "How long does a banishing take?" She didn't look at me, just at the ground between her feet. "Depends on how strong the banisher is and how willing to go the banishee is." "That doesn't sound good. And we've got to get it done before Aldrich arrives. I've heard from someone who knows that when Aldrich does his exorcism, he's got some words wrong, and rather than sending things away, he invites in anything that happens to be listening." I opened my arms for emphasis and brushed against Connie's knee. "Sorry," I said, snatching my hand away. She nodded her head. "That is bad. That is really bad. Do not doubt me when I say this is a monster. Sheridan and your dad will be in real danger if this thing is not sent away, not to mention all of us. It's already hunting you." She looked at my eyes for the first time since her confession. I couldn't meet her gaze. "If I'm just extra careful." I got up and paced to the barn door. Connie glided up behind me. "You need to be more than that. I don't wish to dismay you, but unless this demon is banished, It is not if, but when it catches you. You should not be alone at any time. No one has believed me when I said Aldridge was dangerous. Do you think anyone will believe this? Yes, Una and Connell will believe you. I can't speak for your mother or Began. She gingerly put her hand on my shoulder. Connie, what does this demon look like? I may as well know, if I'm to be on the lookout for it. Connie turned away, pulling her hand from my shoulder. I'd rather not say. Please tell me. Remember, you asked. To imagine it will not give you any peace. The whole of it is dark red, like drying blood. All over its skin is pitted and pocked, with running sores. The top of its head has curling horns, like a ram's. Lank black hair hangs to its shoulders. Its face is more animal than human, but no animal you'd recognize. For eyes it has deep black pits. But do not be fooled, it's not blind. Its sharp teeth are jagged and green. Its body is like that of a large, strong man, but its arms are attached backwards, so the taloned claws face outward. Starting from the hip, it's covered in fur and has the legs of a wolf. A scaled tail like a serpent's, only having spikes at the end, twitches around its body. Large black flies often appear when it's nigh. I've heard that the closer you get to it, the stronger the stench of death and decay. I shouldn't have asked. At least I can't smell anything. Did you say large black flies? So that's where they've been coming from. I hoped that picturing it in my mind would not attract it. I tried to get that horrible image out of my head by summoning the most syrupy sweet, obnoxiously cute cartoon character I could think of. I imagined Bonnie the bunny, fluffy, pink and blue-eyed. I even started humming the theme tune from the cartoon. Bonnie, 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 where are you going today? Bonnie, 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 helping new friends on the way. But then, poor Bunny mutated. Horns sprouted from her head, and she began to snarl, showing wicked fangs. I had to get rid of her too. Skylar, let's go and find Una. Good plan. Why do you think she knows how to banish this thing? When she was alive, she was a witch. Chapter 18. Happy Thoughts. Una a witch? That just couldn't be right. I said nothing as we both climbed onto Neem's back and hurried towards the house. She trotted right through the wall and into the kitchen. Una stood there, looking out the window, as she so often did. Evening, ladies, she said, eyeing the three of us. Connie slid off Neem quickly and gracefully. I had to struggle. If I was a non-dead, I would have been in a heap on the floor. Una, Connie cried, there's a demon hunting Skylar. A demon, you say? Have you seen it? She smoothed her apron. Yes, at the barn, only moments ago. That would explain why a horse is clattering about in my kitchen. Can you get rid of the demon, Una? I asked. Her brow crinkled. Perhaps. Demons are not so easily banished, and a banishing is not so simple to perform once you've died. So it was true. She was a witch. My world was coming unravelled faster than I could grasp at the threads. I moved a little further away from Una. Have you done this kind of thing before, then? Twice only, she answered, as if I'd just asked her if she'd ever bought eggs at the market. As if it was a normal, everyday thing, instead of black magic. I put my face in my hands. I didn't know you were, I couldn't bring myself to say the words. Yes. A what, child? A witch, I whispered. Ah, I see. She pulled my hands away from my eyes. And what do you think a witch is, then? An evil old hag who does bad things to people and who has sold her soul to the devil. Even as I said the words, I knew that was not Una. Not the Una I knew, anyway. Who's gone and told you that now? I couldn't believe she was smiling at me. I don't know. Everybody knows that. Sometimes, things that everybody knows are nothing but malarkey. In my day, doctors were as scarce as hen's teeth, especially in the country. Some of us learned about healing herbs and such. Perhaps I've even made a few amulets and talismans. But me, and people like myself, were often the closest most folk ever got to a doctor. I never did anything but my best to help those who came to me. And if that makes me a witch, then so be it. I'm sorry, Una. Guilt pricked me for being so quick to believe the worst about her. Still smiling, she said, That's all right. Would you mind getting my broomstick out of the cupboard for me then? She winked at me, then chortled when I stared at her in horror. I couldn't believe she could still cod me at a time like this. Now, Skylar, when is this supposed ghost hunter to arrive? May 1st. That's 2 days' time. To do a proper banishing, we'll need the full moon. And that's not for 4 more days. 4 days? I have to hide from this thing for 4 more days? I stomped my foot, and it made a loud thump. I suddenly wondered where Sheridan was. Keep your hair on. Your sister's gone out. Her friend Megan and her mum picked her up while you were out at the barn. Now, back to matters in hand. We can do some things to discourage it until the time comes. As for the banishing, I'll need salt, a sharp dagger, sage, and a candle. I think we've got all of that around the house. I glanced around the kitchen. Most likely. Here's the tricky bit. I don't think I can do this as a ghost. I need a body. What? Like from the cemetery? I wondered if I looked as horrified as Connie did. No, not a corpse. A living body. I'll have to be able to slip in, do the rite, and slip back out again. Una, you're scaring me. There is no other way, child. Do you think this ostrich fellow will put up a fight? Aldrich? I don't know. When I went to his studio, he didn't seem to care about anybody but himself. That might make it harder. He has an assistant. She seemed very compliant. I thought of the pretty mousy woman with all her folders. I hoped she wouldn't mind. It was for a good cause. She'll have to do then. All we can do now is gather the items and wait. The thing about demons is they only have as much power as you give them. They feed on fear, hate, and anger. The problem is, they're so big and so horrible looking that it is well nigh impossible not to be frightened. Knowing your name gives it a hook into you. Now, until the full of the moon, you must be extra cautious. Demons cannot take sunlight, but it is so cloudy here that daytime may not much deter them. If you find yourself slipping into a sad humour, think of surrounding yourself with white light, and let one of us know so we can help you. To think negative thoughts attracts demons and others. Earthbound by Artemis Greenleaf. This work is licensed under the Creative Commons attribution, non-commercial, no derivative works, 3.0 United States license. Environmental sound effects used in this podcast were provided by www.freesound.org. Please check artemisgreenleaf.com for details of specific samples used. If you'd like to leave a comment or learn more about the other projects in progress, please go to www.artemisgreenleaf.com.
Dandelion girl, watch her play on a summer's day.